TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tarani. Thank you so much for watching us today. We are in San Jose this week, and on our program is David Bolan, who is the Product Marketing Manager at Anritsu. Hello, David.
Hi, Rich. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Thanks for being on our program, and really cool device you brought with you. You want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Thank you. I'm with the Microwave Measurements Division of Anritsu, where we make our handheld products for various people around the world. We make several models. We have what we call the Site Master that does cable antenna analysis for wireless carriers. We have spectrum analyzers that can help people do interference analysis. And we have base station analyzers that allow people to measure the quality of a base station and the signals that a base station puts out.
Fantastic. So I would imagine the move to LTE has meant that there's more interest in your products than ever, right?
That's correct. Every time a new air interface comes out by the industry, and as the industry adopts that, we like to provide them that capability to test that new air interface. So a couple years ago it was WiMAX, over in China it was TDS CDMA, and now it's LTE.
Great. So the natural question is, are there carriers that have adopted this and that you can talk about?
Yeah, a lot of carriers are using this. This is the only handheld instrument in the world that can do the modulation quality measurements on a 20 megahertz LTE base station. That's the maximum bandwidth you can do for LTE. And Verizon Wireless has adopted our BTS Master as their standard tool for measuring their LTE measurements in the field.
That's great. When did they announce that?
That was about 3 months ago at the CTIA show.
That's very exciting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's nice to know that the carrier that's probably going to have the largest footprint of LTE by the end of the year has adopted the Anritsu BTS Master.
Now, has that led to other carriers talking to you about adoption, potential adoption?
Well, we're very fortunate in Anritsu that we're always doing business with almost every carrier around the world because of our SiteMaster product line that we've had. We invented the handheld space back in 1995 with that product, and so we are always talking to all the carriers, but it definitely helps leverage that Verizon has adopted the BTS Master.
And what other trends are you seeing? Obviously the move to LTE, but are there other major trends you're...
There will be the trend to TD-LTE as well. So we see that trend coming, and we'll be looking at the TD-LTE signal coming up in the near future.
Oh, okay. When do you think you're going to have something in that space?
It'll be before the end of the year.
Oh, okay. So that'll keep you busy, right?
That's correct.
And how big is the company?
Anritsu is a $1 billion company. We're based in Japan, in Atsugi, Japan. We're on the Nikkei Stock Exchange.
Okay, so anything else new that we haven't covered that you want to talk about?
We are going to introduce what we call coverage mapping and interference mapping on our touchscreen instruments. We have a series of touchscreen instruments that allow you to put a map with geolocation information right on the screen, and you can do real-time mapping of your coverage right on the screen of your instrument. And you can see as you drive around with your GPS hooked up, you can see the receiver threshold in different colors show up as you drive around the network to see where you have coverage or don't have coverage.
So this is going to be kind of a weird question, but it's of interest. The power of apps and smartphones, obviously they're becoming more and more powerful. At a certain point, are you going to be able to leverage the intelligence of a smartphone to assist with some of what you're doing here? Or is the complexity and the processing power and the unique technology not something that a smartphone would be able to leverage?
The smartphone probably has the processing power as they continue to go up over 1 gigahertz now on some of the newer smartphones, but they don't have the RF components to test to the sensitivities that we want and all the different frequencies. They're usually very frequency limited, where they can only look at one channel at a time, where we want to look at the whole spectrum at a time.
Right, and then you're talking about battery use and things like that. I would imagine that it really couldn't do what you need something like this, a more dedicated device.
Yeah, and then obviously we want the larger screen, which also consumes a lot of power.
Right, right. That makes a lot of sense. It's just worth discussing because, like you said, I mean, with the 2 gigahertz around the corner, the Snapdragon processors and some of the others that we're going to see in some Android devices, it's going to be very interesting to see at least rudimentary devices out there that will be doing some testing and measuring.
Yeah, you can actually take the USB port on a smartphone, hook it up to here, and take the measurements right out of the instrument, and then email off the instruments right from the field on,
Oh, okay.
your smartphone.
So there's some integration. That's great.
You could do that if you wanted to.
Well, great. So thrilled to have you on the program, and good luck with some of the future things we talked about, and looking forward to having you back again soon.
Thank you very much, Rich.